Welcome back to the Hub on Vital MX, your one-stop shop for motocross news from around the world, and rejoice because we do actually have motocross news to talk about. We are deep into the off-season now. News is fleeting, but there is a lot to get to this week, and in fact this could be a bit of a scattered episode with news from quite literally every single continent. Let's start with the big update, that being the fact that Triumph Factory Racing have announced their full lineup for the 2025 SuperMotocross World Championship. Jalek Swoll returns, and he will be joined by Austin Forkner, Jordon Smith, and Stilez Robertson. The four-man team will compete indoors and outdoors. Forkner, Smith, and Robertson have joined on multi-year deals. Speaking in the team's official statement, Forkner said, "I am super excited to be a part of the Triumph Factory Racing team. I am already so happy after just a couple of weeks of work with the team. I really like the team of personnel that has been put together here. I think it is going to be a brilliant year. Of course, I am motivated to capture their first SMX win. It would be huge for both the team and me. It will be a lot of fun building together and working towards that point." From the word on the street, it sounds as though Forkner, Smith and Robertson have all been testing with the team in weeks gone by, so they already have some time under their belt, as you would expect, with Anaheim 1 only 72 days away. Interesting little note in the Triumph PR, and hat tip to the person who wrote that, Forkner has a 31% win rate indoors. Obviously, we know he's missed a lot of racing with injuries, which helps his average, but that's quite impressive, I think, and something to ponder as we start to bench race about what is going to happen in 2025. Jumping across to Europe now, Alberto Forato has found a home at Honda SR, and little note, Honda SR have lost Ship to Cycle as a title sponsor, but replaced them with Motul, so the team is now known as Honda SR Motoblouz Motul. Bizarre, I know, that some European teams put the manufacturer at the beginning, traditionally belongs at the end, but here we are. In the EMX categories, Levi Townley, son of Ben Townley, has confirmed that he will race the entire EMX125 season with MJC Yamaha Official EMX125. That is, as the name suggests, Yamaha's official EMX125 team. Townley won the Junior World Championship in the 85cc class this year, then finished second in his first race aboard a 125, that being the Blue Cruise Super Final at the 2024 Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations. Townley has been widely tipped as the next big thing to come from motocross worldwide. I truly expect him to be in America quite soon. Maybe he follows the path of his dad and sticks around in Europe for one season of MX2 maybe, or maybe even a couple of seasons of MX2, who knows. But I do think that you will see him in America sooner rather than later. And finally, from Europe, silly season-wise, we have another update. Joel Smets has joined Red Bull KTM Factory Racing as the team manager now. He was previously a trainer for the Peer Mobility Group, helping Andrea Adamo, Jorge Prado, among others. But now he will be Red Bull KTM Factory Racing's team manager. In fact, he is the fourth team manager in as many years, following Dirk Grubel, Antonio Caroli, Harry Norton, and, of course, now it's himself. Dean Wilson has signed a contract of his own, but not with a team. He will be competing in the British Arena Cross and AX World Tour, which kicks off on the first weekend in January. The British Arena Cross Tour is, of course, well known. That's established. The AX World Tour is new for 2025. They are, in essence, one championship, but split into two seasons. A British champion will be crowned, but also a world champion. 6 rounds in Britain will kick off the campaign, and then the final 2 rounds will be held in the Middle East. The first one is TBC, but the finale will be held in the same arena that hosts WSX. Kind of bizarre that that arena is now welcoming all comers who have a motocross race. Who would have thought? Interesting now that Kai de Wolf is in California on a supercross track and sharing updates. I can tell you from my inside sources that Kai has really impressed everyone on the American side. I won't give the exact details of what he's doing on the track, but let's just say he's competitive. Everyone's had their eyes opened and it's quite inspiring, let's say. But it could be a while until you see him in America if he comes at all. I'm now thinking 2027 because it turns out he actually has a contract with the Peer Mobility Group for 2026. It's 2027 where there would be more flexibility. Maybe he can figure out a way to come to America with Husqvarna, KTM or GasGas in 2026, but starting to sound a little less likely. Hayden Deegan is back on a bike after his wrist surgery. He started riding this week, I believe, and he has already taken to social media himself to share footage of him looking rather spicy, so he will be ready to go no matter what coast he contests. Maybe East again? I don't know. We're obviously a way out of getting confirmation on that. What else? A couple of other small notes. Cedric Soubeyras broke his femur at the first round of the FIM World Supercross Championship. That was, of course, won by Eli Tomac. Ken Roxon followed him, as you would expect. Shane McElrath won SX2, followed by Max Anstey. Anstey was just a wild card for round one. There were some murmurs that maybe he could compete in the full season, but that's not going to happen. And finally, away from the racetrack, Motocross The Game has been announced. The powers that be have assembled an all-star cast of the best minds from the moto gaming community, and this really looks quite promising. The game is scheduled for release in the Q4 of 2025, and it will be released on console and PC. There is a Kickstarter for you to help them get the project along, but it's important to emphasize the fact that they do not need the full Kickstarter money to fund the project. The project is already funded. The Kickstarter money is just to help enhance it, let's say. So yeah, 1 year from now, we should have Motocross The Game. Quite exciting. Look at that. Motocross gaming is back with a boom. It wasn't too long ago, well, maybe 10 years or so, that we didn't have any games at all. And now we have MX vs ATV, MXGP, Supercross, and Motocross The Game. Once again, there's a lot to be happy about. Would you look at that? There you have it. Thank you for watching and listening to The Hub this week. As mentioned, a little scattered news from all kinds of different areas, from team managers to EMX riders to Austin Forkner. We've got it all. We'll be back next week to catch up on all that has happened at the third round of Australian Supercross, among other events. So we will see you then.